Hello, this is Vicky from vickycharles.com and you're listening to my podcast. Thank you for listening. You can find the show notes from this and all previous podcasts at vickycharles.com/podcast. And this week's episode number 33 is about whether you should have a Facebook page, account or group. So let's get on with it. So welcome to episode number 33 of the vickycharles.com podcast. This one is about whether you should have a Facebook page, account or a group. Facebook has 1.4 billion monthly active users, and there's a lot of kind of disagreement in the blogging or online community in general about whether you should try to interact with those people through your personal account, through a page or through a group. So I'm just going to run through the three different options here. Your personal account, first and foremost. I think everyone has a personal account these days. Even my mum has a personal account. She doesn't really use it, but she has it. It is for people, just for a person. So kind of just for your average Joe, really. Kind of, here's a photo of my cat, or this is what I did at the weekend sort of stuff, personal stuff. Something, I think probably the best way to describe it is for somebody with no agenda, nothing to sell, nothing to promote. Nothing really to be involved in, just, here's a picture of my cat, this is what I did last week, this is what my job is now, this is, blah, blah, kind of personal stuff, personal interaction. And that is absolutely fine. If you are a person, then have a personal account. Facebook are cracking down majorly on personal accounts that look like they might not be genuine. I know of two people who have had their Facebook account suspended. One person's account was suspended for a fairly long time, a couple of weeks, until she could send them a copy of her passport to prove who she was. Another person had to change their name because Facebook wouldn't accept their name, even though it is their genuine name, and they had to send off a copy of their driving license to prove the point. So I know a lot of bloggers use Facebook with their blog name as their name, and that's great. And if it's working for you, then fine. But beware that Facebook is fully within their rights to close down your account and not let you open it again. And then you would lose all of those connections overnight without any warning. So it really is worth bearing that in mind. And I've talked a lot about that before. So just, keep that in mind, that a personal account really is for personal interaction and nothing else, really. That's not to say that you can't interact and network with people there, build connections there, build a community there. But I would always try to encourage your personal connections to move across to a Facebook page, which I shall talk about now. A Facebook pages are getting really bad rap at the moment. They are harder work, but they're more targeted, because on your Facebook personal account, you might have your Auntie Agnes, you might have somebody you went to school with 30 years ago, you might have your next door neighbour's best friend's dog who has an account. I know people whose cat has got an account, their hamster's got an account. Those are not genuine connections. Those are not people that are going to buy anything you're selling or read your blog or whatever, because they're cats and dogs people. But they're still on your personal account because you'd upset their owner if you unfriended them ridiculously. So it gives you an inflated figure really as your friends, but it also is just they're not a targeted audience. They're not people who have come along and said, yes, I want to know more about this, I like that page, which is what you want. One good explanation I heard about having targeted audience is it's the difference between kind of standing in a crowd and shouting and none of them looking, or standing in front of 5 people and having them all write down every single word you say. A lot of people, I think, a lot of bloggers are at the moment, we're standing in a massive crowd of people who none of them are looking at us while we shout, look at my blog, here's a picture, here's a post about this, rah, rah, rah. Nobody's listening to us. It's much better if we have, even if it really is only 5 people, those 5 people, if they are going to read your every blog post, hang on your every word, listen to your podcast, buy your book, sign up for your email list. Those 5 people are worth so much more than that crowd of 1,000 who are not turning around to listen to what you have to say. And that really is important to bear in mind with a Facebook page. I know I go on about it all the time, but it really is important to have a targeted and engaged audience on your Facebook page, rather than using a personal account, which is going to have random people on it that you're not even sure why they're your friend, where they came from, but you don't want to unfriend them in case you offend them, and blah, blah, blah. Not worth the effort. It's also worth bearing in mind that with your page, you can use the insights on your page to see which posts are doing well, what time you should post, who your audience is, what age they are, what gender they are, what language they speak, all sorts of things. And those are really, really useful. And you don't get that with a personal account. With a personal account, you really are flying blind. So you might go, yeah, but I get more likes, I get more comments, whatever. But you don't have that ability to target to see the best time to post. You're kind of flying blind and using your own kind of guesswork. And a lot of the time it is guesswork. I know for me, sometimes I go back and look at my insights at the end of the week and think, oh, I had no idea that post had done so well. So it's worth bearing in mind. The third option is groups. I'm a member of an awful lot of Facebook groups. Some of them do really, really well. Some of them are great and I interact with them every single day. And some of them, I forget I'm a member until somebody posts in it and I get a notification. They are great. If you have an event to promote, you can get everybody who's going to that event can come and join your group and it's fantastic. If you have a business that you want to build a community around your business, then yeah, have a group. I'm a member of a group for people who are entrepreneurs or, self-employed, and that group is fantastic. It works really well. I'm sure that the people who own it get an awful lot of business out of it, but it's really useful. We all help each other within that group. It's great for building community, but it can be really hard when you first start your group off. It can be so hard to get that interaction going with people. If people aren't committed to it, if they've only joined it, on a whim or whatever, then it's not so great. It can be hard work, and it is a daily thing. You need to be in that group every single day, kind of geeing people on, asking them questions, giving them a reason to comment, giving them a reason for people to join in, and then they'll start to make their own posts. And that is an important thing to bear in mind, actually. If you have a group, you are not the only person that can post on it. So with a personal account or a page, you are the only person that can kind of broadcast to your followers. With a group, anybody who is a member of that group can post in it. And as the admin of that group, you have to then go in and kind of be mum and say, no, you can't post that, you can't post that, you can't post that, and delete things and all that. And it's all just a bit of a mess. And I don't have time to be doing things like that. So I don't really do groups very much. And also for bloggers, you find a lot of the blogging groups, and I include myself in this because I am terrible for it. A lot of people just go into blogging groups and link drop. And they will share their link. If you're a member of 7 groups, you will get 7 notifications that a blogger has dropped the exact same link in every single group, and there's not really much interaction in those groups. And it's not really then it's not really worth having the group. I think whoever started that group probably didn't do that just so that people who would kind of share their links in there. They probably had really high hopes and expectations for it, and it's not got there. So those are the 3 main points, and now I'm going to do a bit of a plug, basically. I run a WhatsApp group for bloggers, and I started it because I was a member of several other WhatsApp groups that I found were really engaging and really interesting and much more accessible than Facebook groups. And no, they have no bearing on your clout score. They have no bearing on anything at all, except that you get to chat to different people. The other WhatsApp groups that I was a member of have actually moved over to Slack now, which is another fantastic tool, but we've stayed on WhatsApp. So if you would like to join my WhatsApp group for bloggers, you are more than welcome to join if you are a nice person and you're not going to slag people off or all of that business. So the number that you need to send a WhatsApp message to is 07581 407 938, and if you're in the US or Canada or France or Belgium or Switzerland or Timbuktu, you just need a +44 or 0044 7581 407 938, and everyone is more than welcome to join. I think you can only have 100 people in a WhatsApp group, but until we hit 100, everyone's welcome to join. All you need to do is send a WhatsApp message, not a text message, a WhatsApp message to that number, giving me your name and your blog name, and I will add you to the group. So those are the 3 ways that you can use Facebook: the page, the account, or the group, and the differences between them. Hopefully I've persuaded you to abandon your personal account and have a page instead to promote your business or your blog. But do let me know if you disagree with any of these. I know at the moment a lot of people are heading towards groups, and that's fantastic if you have the energy and the focus to keep them up. Thank you for listening to episode number 33 of the VickyCharles.com podcast. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Do please leave me a comment below. You can contact me on Facebook at facebook.com/VickyCharlesWriter. On Twitter, I am at VickyCWrites, and I'm also at VickyCWrites on Instagram. Or you can email me, vicky@vickycharles.com. The show notes for this and all previous podcasts can be found at vickycharles.com/podcast, or you can find me directly on Spreaker, or I am available on Stitcher Radio, where I would love it if you would subscribe and give me a review. I'll be back next week. Thank you very much for listening.